Hello and welcome to highlights of the opening race of the 1990 Formula One season, the American Grand Prix, brought to you by Microprose and GP2Joey. Originally scheduled to be run on the streets of Phoenix, Arizona, this year's curtain raiser finds itself at Road America, one of the most majestic circuits in the world. Located in the beautiful state of Wisconsin, the 4-mile circuit is a regular of the IndyCar World Series, and the passionate American fans are excited to finally see what kind of a race these magnificent Formula One cars will produce. In the lead up to the race, rumours circulated that Virgin boss Richard Branson could sponsor the new Life team, and that Damon Hill, son of the late double world champion Graham, had secured a test session with the French Ligier team as possible replacement for the recently banned Nicola Larini. Although the test was deemed a success, it was not enough to secure the drive, which ultimately went to last year's Formula 3000 runner-up and French national Eric Comas, albeit for only 4 races. News then broke that the French Grand Prix would be moving in 1991 from Paul Ricard to the reconstructed Manicourt circuit near Paris, and Britain's Nigel Mansell declared that he was hopeful of a strong start to the year after his return to Williams from Ferrari. For defending champ Alain Prost, there was confidence that he and his McLaren team were ready for the fight with Ferrari and their superstar signing for 1990 Ayrton Senna, who was also bullish about his chances this year. Excitement was at fever pitch as the first session of the year neared, and the cars finally took to the track on Friday morning. With a colossal 18 drivers and 9 teams, all competing for only 6 spots and a place in qualifying for the race proper, the action in Friday morning's 30-minute pre-qualifying session was nothing short of sensational. As the drivers continued to trade fastest laps with one another, minute by minute, it was a frantic dash for all to fine-tune their cars as soon as it became clear that a tenth or two in lap time could spell success or disaster. In the end, it was Joe Winkelhock who was surprisingly fastest in the all-new Joey's Porsche, ahead of Johansson's Onyx and Joey's teammate Boutsen in third. Further back, there was disaster for pre-qualifying favourites Minardi and Eurobrun, as both Luigi Martini and JJ Leto suffered mechanical issues that resulted in neither driver setting a lap. With progression into the race based on aggregate times of both team drivers, it was Joey's, Onyx and Ligier who were through, and the others were left to pack up and go home. Friday's qualifying session was held in beautiful sunshine, and it was McLaren's Nelson Piquet who set the pace early on, whilst down at Williams, F1 rookie Mark Brundle, who was replacing the injured Joey Davis for the first 4 races of this year, began the first session of his career now he'd been promoted from test to race driver in the number 6 car and was going well, eventually going on to finish in the top 6. As ever, defending champ Alain Prost was in the mix, going second fastest behind teammate Piquet, but there was no doubting the fact that up and down the paddock and in the grandstands everywhere, all eyes were on one man and one man only, as what many thought would only ever be a dream turned into reality, the sight of the mercurial Ayrton Senna going for a hot lap in the stunning Ferrari 641. The Brazilian was in scintillating form, sweeping to the top of the standings to beat both the McLarens and the impressive arrows of Martin Brundle and Johnny Herbert, with Blundell in 5th. The midfield looked tight, and the new Joey's Porsches continued to surprise with their speed and were right in the thick of it. Saturday qualifying was just as intense as Friday, with Herbert improving in his arrows whilst Nigel Mansell, now back with Williams, appeared to struggle with an unbalanced FW12 chassis and a Renault engine that seemed down on power compared to its nearest rivals. Further back, Joey's Racing continued to impress on their debut, but at Benetton there was frustration as drivers Riccardo Patrese and Sandro Nannini struggled to get a good balance in their respective B190 cars. But it was Senna who ultimately claimed pole position on his Ferrari debut, despite Brazilian rival Piquet going quickest on Saturday. A delighted Senna dedicated the pole to his new team and Ferrari fans the world over, and there was more joy down at Arrows, with both Brundle and Herbert confirmed in 4th and 5th, behind the McLarens and Piquet and Prost in 2nd and 3rd. The midfield battle was just as intense, and there promised many battles throughout the race on Sunday, except for both Brabhams who failed to qualify. After qualifying, Brundle beamed with confidence of a strong race on Sunday, but perhaps the happiest man in the pit lane was Reynald Joest, who was overjoyed his team had qualified for a race at the first time of asking, whilst there were nerves down at Williams that the team were now some way off the pace and in for a difficult Grand Prix. So it's Senna on pole with the 2 McLarens and Piquet second, Prost in third, then the two arrows of Brundle in fourth. It's Herbert in fifth. Berger's Ferrari is sixth, then the two Williams of Blundell in seventh and Mansell in eighth. The two Benettons of Patrese in ninth and Nannini 10th. Alesi is 11th, then the two Lotuses of Warwick 12th and Donnelly in 13th. Bernard is 14th, it's Johansson in 15th with Alboreto 16th, Nakajima 17th, then it's Gugelmin in 18th, it's Capelli in 19th, Joe Winkelhock is 20th, it's Suzuki 21st with Boutsen in 22nd, Comas is 23rd, it's Dalmas in 24th, Tarquini is 25th, and last is Alex Caffey 26th in the Onyx. The lights are on, the revs are up, and the 1990 Formula One World Championship is go! Senna gets minimal wheel spin in his Ferrari and he's off to a terrific start. Piquet's right behind him, and look at Martin Brundle. Brundle's overtaken Alain Prost and he's up into third place now as the cars come barreling down into turn one. It's Senna, it's Piquet and Brundle. Who's going to lead into turn one? It's Senna. Senna takes the lead ahead of Nelson Piquet. Brundle drops into third place, but as they run down to turn two, Piquet's having a look. Is Piquet? No, he slots in back behind Senna, and he goes through turn two now, and Ayrton Senna now is hard onto the curbs, but I think that he's enabled Nelson Piquet to get a bit of a run on him now. The two of them, they're neck and neck now down the run down to the third turn now. Piquet pulls out from alongside Ayrton Senna, and I think that Honda and that McLaren is going to be able to get past him. As they come down towards the braking, it's Piquet just slightly in front. Is he going to be able to keep ahead? He does. Piquet takes the lead ahead of Ayrton Senna. Martin Brundle still in third place. And Johnny Herbert's up to fourth. He's just overtaken Alain Prost out of shot. We just missed that. It's Gerhard Berger in sixth place. Mansell seventh. Blundell is eighth. It's Patrese in ninth, and Nannini is 10th now. We're looking at Martin Brundle now, and he's got Johnny Herbert, his Arrow's teammate, is right behind him. But I suspect that Johnny Herbert's coming under attack from Alain Prost. He does. Prost is going to go for the inside, and Prost is through. It's Berger there in sixth place. Mansell is dropping down. He's into seventh. Patrese is just past Blundell for eighth, and Blundell's now ninth with Nannini 10th, and it's Alesi in 11th place. We're back up front now, and Senna's on the charge once more now. That Ferrari, he's all over the back of the McLaren's gearbox of Nelson Piquet. He's coming down now. They're up to 185 miles an hour now. Under braking now for the right-hander. Senna pulls out. He's going to go for the inside. He's going to go for the lead, and he can't do it. Piquet still keeps the lead and chops across in front of that Ferrari. And as they go up and under the bridge there, it's Piquet still in the lead. He's got Senna in second place. Brundle is third. Prost is fourth. Herbert is fifth. And it's Gerhard Berger in sixth place. Fantastic start to the race.
There's Martin Brundle in third place, and Alain Prost has got Johnny Herbert attacking him again, and Herbert just can't quite make it stick there. Prost just slams the door, says no thanks, chum. Senna's still going to try and keep with Nelson Piquet there if he can, but I suspect that Honda engine is finely tuned for the race today, and you can see that Senna has already dropped half a second back, and there's already nearly a 2.5 second gap between Senna and Brundle in third place, and Prost is back 4 seconds from the race leader as Joe Winkelhock's into the pits.
Well, I wonder what's happened to Joe Winkelhock. We're getting a replay now, and he's lost his front wing, so he's obviously just had an off somewhere. It's such a shame for that German driver, but what a drive he's had in qualifying to have really gotten up the grid that high. And let's have a look at the rear drivers now, the back markers. It's Alex Caffey in 24th, Yannick Dalmas in 24th, 25th, it's 26th, and there's, I'm getting all my numbers wrong. It's Eric Comas is 19th, Eric Bernard is 18th, and he's trying to get past Thierry Boutsen's Joe's Porsche, but he can't quite make it stick there. And the Belgian's really driven well so far today. He's driven well actually all weekend, and he's really going to be trying to take that team up the grid this year if he can. And you can see Michele Alboretto's on the back of one of the Lotuses now. I suspect that's Derek Warwick, and Alboretto's going to go for it. But I don't think the Cosworth engine is going to have as much power as that Lamborghini that's in the back of that Lotus, and it hasn't, and he can't make it stick there. Mark Blundell in 10th place, Nannini's 9th. Just behind Riccardo Patrese, who's really on the charge now to Gerhard Berger's Ferrari, who's languishing down in 7th place. And here's Nigel Mansell in 6th. Mansell's managed to get ahead of Gerhard Berger as he goes up the hill. And now we're on board with Nigel Mansell. This is the kind of stuff we want to see. Mansell in that Williams now, he's really struggling for pace this weekend. He's really complained about an unbalanced car, but as ever, he's going to try and just muscle his way through it now as he barrels down into the first turn at 120, 130 miles an hour now. He's chasing after Johnny Herbert, and he can't quite make it stick now as they come up to the final turn. Is Mansell going to be able to get past him? He can't. He's going to try and have a bit of a drag race now with the Arrows Ilmore up the hill over the main start-finish line now with Prost ahead of them. It's going to be Mansell and Herbert in a drag-out race for the honours now as they come down into the first turn. Who's going to get it? I suspect that the Ilmor engine in the back of that Arrows is going to just slightly have the power advantage over Nigel Mansell.
Mansell's going to go for the inside, but he can't make it stick. He can't get there. Johnny Herbert just says, no thanks. I'm going to keep their position ahead of you. But Mansell's going to pull out for the inside. Is he going to try and do it now? Into the second turn, he's going to go for it, but Herbert just slams the door. Fantastic bit of driving from the young Britishman Johnny Herbert to keep Nigel Mansell right behind him. And that's a Ferrari smoking. We're on board with Michael. That's a Ferrari smoking. He's in Senna. I think it's Gerhard Berger. Berger's Ferrari has expired. That's such a shame. Now we're only on lap 5 of the race, and already one of the Ferraris is already out. Tremendous development here at Elkhart Lake in America for the first Grand Prix of the 1990 season. And there's Nelson Piquet. Piquet on lap 7 now. He's way out in front. You can see he's dropped out in Senna. Senna's now over 4 seconds behind Piquet, and we suspect that the Brazilian is going to be 2-stopping today. But Ayrton Senna's going to be 2-stopping, and we think that Nelson Piquet's 2-stopping as well. Martin Brundle here is going to be 1-stopping along with Alain Prost. So at the moment it's Prost and Brundle who look pretty good for this race, and we're on board with Alain Prost now, the defending 1989 world champion in that McLaren Honda. He's a mercurial driver, he's tenacious. That's absolutely the reason why he's called the Professor. Coming up under the bridge now. We're looking at Nelson Piquet now. He's going to try and pass one of the Lotuses now as we're on lap 15, and he goes past the Lotus and he's into the pit lane, I think Nelson Piquet's going to come into the pits. He is. We're in car with Nelson Piquet now, so he's got to slow that car down. He's got to slow it down to 50 miles an hour. Not a mile an hour over that, or else he's going to get a drive-through penalty. Let's see how long he stops for and how much fuel he's going to take on. He's going to take on some tyres as well. It's a good clean stop. He's in the blocks. A little wipe of the visor there from the McLaren mechanics now. And Senna, he's waiting for the wheels to be down. That's it. The wheels are changed now. He's just going to see how long his stop's going to be. It's 9.5 seconds. That's a pretty decent stop from the McLaren team. And Piquet's going to drop back out. Is he going to come out ahead of Nigel Mansell? I think he is. No, Mansell's gone through. But where's Patrese, Herbert and Brundle? I think that Piquet's beaten them out. Nelson Piquet's beaten them out of the pit lane there, and you can see Johnny Herbert just slightly behind him, and that was a good stop for Nelson Piquet now. Brazilian making his first race debut for the McLaren team now, as Patrese's into the pits as well. And let's see Ayrton Senna. There's Ayrton Senna now, your race leader. Ayrton Senna on lap 16. What's he going to do? Is he going to come into the pit lane? But we think he's on a 2-stop there as well. So we are expecting Ayrton Senna into the pits at any moment now as he comes up behind one of the Lotuses, and he really loses it. He's nearly lost it. And Senna's into the pits now. Is he going to be able to make up any time, having stayed out one lap longer than Nelson Piquet? He gets the car slowed down to 50 miles an hour. Let's see how quickly those Ferrari boys can get him serviced. Comes in, pulls into the blocks. That's a good clean stop there. Another wipe on the visor from the Ferrari mechanics. I almost said McLaren. We're so used to seeing it in the red and white cars. All the 4 wheels have gone on now, and Senna's made a stop of 9 seconds. That's half a second quicker than Piquet's, but I suspect that Nelson Piquet on fresher tyres is going to be able to outpace the Brazilian. Nigel Mansell's into the pits as well now. We're waiting for the long drawn out. It just seems to go on forever when you're going down the pit lane. And where's Senna going to rejoin? He comes out. I think that Piquet's gone ahead of him. He has. Piquet's ahead of Senna. I'm not sure how many seconds ahead now, but there's Johnny Herbert in 4th place. And Piquet's now is into 3rd place, and that means that Martin Brundle's in the lead now, and he's only 0.7 seconds ahead of Alain Prost. With both of them, we believe they're only going to be stopping once in this race. It's going to be interesting to see if this strategy is going to play out for both Brundle and Prost, because if Senna can really keep that pace up with Nelson Piquet, there's a very good chance that both of them are going to be able to outdrive both Prost and Martin Brundle as well. I think it's just going to be a case of Nelson Piquet give it a bang in the lap times and just see what he can do as he's coming up to lap the Joey's Porsche there. I believe that's Thierry Boutsen, the Belgian driver. It's quite surprising really that Boutsen chose to drive for the Joey's team this year, having had a stellar season with Benetton last year. Some would say it was a bit of a surprise he didn't land a full-time seat elsewhere, but such is the way in Formula One as we look at Martin Brundle now. We're on lap 25 and Brundle's coming in.
Yep, Martin Brundle's going to come in now for what we assume is going to be his only stop, but Alain Prost has chosen to stay out another lap. So this is going to be very interesting to see now. Is Alain Prost going to be able to put the power down and maybe get one lap in faster than Martin Brundle and come out ahead of him whenever it is that he stops? Martin Brundle into the pits now. He stops the car. The lollipop man's there. They give a great little wipe of the visor. They get rid of all the dirt and all the flies off of Brundle's helmet there. All the tyres are on. We're waiting for the fuel to go, and it's going to take a little bit longer now. 10.5 seconds. That's actually quite a decent stop. Just under 23 laps worth of fuel there, and that's going to see him good to the end of the race. But where on earth is he going to build out? He comes out as 5th place now, but where's Nigel Mansell? Let's hope he doesn't get held up behind the Williams. He doesn't. Mansell is way back there. He's way back. We can't even see him in shot. Martin Brundle's going to come out now, and I think he's going to come out in either 1st or 2nd place when all the pit stops are done. But there's your man at the moment. It's Alain Prost now. Alain Prost in the McLaren just about manages to get it stopped, and he too's coming into the pits now. Let's see what sort of a lap time he's done, because he was less than half a second behind Martin Brundle before the arrows managed to make his stop. Let's see what Alain Prost can do now. He's down the pit lane, waiting. The Lotus team, you can see they're ready for one of their boys, either Derek Warwick or Martin Donnelly. Alain Prost, he's into the chocks now. The lollipop man. The visor's given a nice little wipe there by the McLaren team. It's quite interesting that McLaren have gone for 1 stop for Prost and 2 stops for Piquet, but let's see how this pans out. He's got 10 seconds on his stop. He's 0.4 seconds quicker than Martin Brundle, and I think that could spell disaster for Martin Brundle now, who's already down the main straightaway. And where's Brundle going to come out? I suspect he's not going to be able to get ahead of Alain Prost, and he can't. Alain Prost has jumped Martin Brundle at the pit stops. We're on board with Martin Brundle now. You can see that Alain Prost is ahead now. So that's lap staying out 1 lap longer. Really worked for Alain Prost now. And he's in a net 3rd position with Piquet and Senna ahead. But both of them, don't forget, have still got to stop. Mansell down in 5th place. Blundell was into the pits, and the other Williams in 6th place. But Johnny Herbert is languishing down in 6th. He's had a bit of a nightmare day today. Not sure quite what's happened. And Piquet, we're hearing Piquet's out of the race. He's pulled into the pits. His engine's expired. Oh, tragedy for Nelson Piquet. And that means to say that Ayrton Senna is in the lead. We've got 17 laps to go. Senna's in the lead, and he's only got 17.2 seconds. He's going to need more than that if he's going to stop again and come out ahead of Alain Prost and Martin Brundle. What an exciting moment this is for the race now. Is Ayrton Senna going to be able to stay ahead in his debut race for Ferrari? He was really hopeful that, having taken the pole position yesterday afternoon, he was going to be able to take the race win today. But it's looking as though he's only 18 seconds ahead now. There's Martin Brundle in 3rd place. He's trying to keep up with Alain Prost. Is he going to be able to do it now as Prost comes up to lap one of the Tyrrells? Prost, he's going to struggle a little bit now. If he doesn't get ahead of that Tyrrell now, he's going to lose a little bit of time. That's going to enable Martin Brundle to maybe close up the gap.
I think that Tyrrell has got to get out of the way very quickly there for Alain Prost. There is Satoru Nakajima, and there's Martin Donnelly. Martin Donnelly running very well in 8th place, and it seems as though his engine has expired. The Lamborghini has just let go. That is a terrible shame for this young man. The Ultimate, actually, who's making his debut also. So that's a very good run from him. That's a shame that he's not going to be able to finish the race.
And there's Ayrton Senna now. As he rounds, he's coming up to the final turn. Is he going to be coming into the pits this time? We hear that he is. He is. He's going to come in. He just about manages to get it stopped there to be able to get into the pits, and he's into the pit lane. And that means to say that Martin Brundle and Alain Prost are your 2 race leaders. They're separated by 1.2 seconds. Is the Arrows going to be able to catch up to that McLaren? This is going to be just a race now to the end of the checkered flag for these two. Prost, in his, as ever, in living up to his profession as the professor, he's now into the lead. Is he going to stay there as Ayrton Senna exits the pits? This is lap 34, and Prost is still in the lead now. Martin Brundle is pulled 2/10 quicker than Martin Brundle now, who's dropped. And here's the Joey's Porsche of Zach Boomson. We're on board now with Ayrton Senna in that Ferrari. He's going to be trying to chase down that McLaren. He's got 10 laps to chase down, 10 seconds. This is going to be exciting stuff to see if Senna in his Ferrari can manage to catch the McLaren of Alain Prost now. It's got Johnny Herbert in 4th place. It's Blundell in 5th. Mansell in 6th place, Patrese 7th, it's Warwick in 8th, Nakajima 9th, and Ivan Capelli in the March. Leighton House is in 10th place. And look at this, there's only 4 laps to go now. And there's Mark Blundell ahead of Nigel Mansell. Mansell is catching Blundell. Oh, Williams going to tell Blundell to pull out of the way of Nigel Mansell. And we're on board now with Mansell once again under the bridge now, calmly approach to the final turn. He's chasing, he's hounding his teammate. And Alain Prost, he's only got a few more corners to go. Alain Prost, he's got 4.7 seconds ahead of Martin Brundle. Senna unable to close the gap now. He's 12.6 seconds behind the McLaren. As Alain Prost comes up to the final turn now. Is Alain Prost going to get through here okay? Has he got enough fuel to get over the line? He's out of the final turn now. He's on the approach now to the final few metres now. And Alain Prost in the McLaren. We're on board now. And Alain Prost, he's only got a few yards to go. And Alain Prost wins the American Grand Prix. Fantastic. Martin Brundle, he's second, 4.7 seconds behind Prost, the Frenchman, and Ayrton Senna is going to be coming up over the line to take third place, and I assume he's going to be slightly disappointed with that because he was expecting to win. But look at this, the two Williams, they're neck and neck, and Mansell, he's going to try and get a move done on Mark Brundle. Now it's Brundle, he's going to be able to cover the inside line, and Mansell can't do it. And Brundle, I think he might have just missed a gear there. And that means to say that Nigel Mansell's going to try and close the gap now as they drag race up the hill. Is Mansell going to be able to get ahead of his young teammate who's making his debut for the Williams team? I don't think he can do it. And it's Mark Brundle takes 5th place ahead of Nigel Mansell. It's Patrese in 7th. Warwick takes 8th place for Lotus. What a great drive from him. And Nakajima finishes 9th in the Tyrrell. Ivan Capelli is 10th. But look at Alain Prost. What a drive. So it was an emphatic win for the defending champ Alain Prost in his McLaren Honda, with Brundle second in the Arrows Ilmore, Senna a disappointed third in the Ferrari, and Herbert fourth in the other Arrows, ahead of both Williams Renaults of Blundell and Mansell in 6th. It really was a race of attrition, with 12 classified finishers and numerous engine failures throughout the field. For Prost, there was delight his pit strategy had worked to beat his arch-rival Senna, and for Brundle, there was equal joy, with Arrows having proved that their pace in winter testing was no fluke and that his second-place finish was well-deserved. Senna, meantime, was left to wonder what might have been for Ferrari on a day when he didn't have the pace to match the McLarens as he thought he would do. In the Drivers' Championship, it was Alain Prost on top, Martin Brundle second with Senna third, Herbert fourth, Blundell fifth and Mansell in 6th. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren Honda were on top, with Arrows Ilmore a surprising second on equal points with 9, Ferrari third and Williams Renault in 4th. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for round 2 of the 1990 Formula 1 World Championship in Brazil.